Good afternoon. My name is Eva. I'm from Belgium and today I will teach you how to make a nice Belgian chocolate mousse. It's quite easy as a recipe. So we need basically four basic ingredients. We need eggs. We need 3 eggs in total. We need 200 grams of dark chocolate, preferably Belgian style, so very bitter. We need some sugar, 50 grams of sugar, together with 150 milligrams of cream. Okay, so once you're ready with these ingredients, let's get started. The first step, you take the chocolate, you put it in a small pan, you heat another pan, so you have a bigger pot on the oven, and you make sure that the water is boiling. Once the water starts slowly to boil, you put in the little pan. It's called bain-marie. Then you take a wooden spoon and you start stirring slowly the chocolate until the chocolate is completely melted after a while. In the meantime, until you wait that the chocolate is completely melted, you can start working on the eggs. So you take 3 eggs in total. And you make sure to divide the egg white from the egg yolk. Both of them will have different use later on in the chocolate mousse. Okay. So once you have divided the eggs into the egg white and the egg yolk, you start with the sugar. As I mentioned, you need 50 grams of sugar. So you take a measuring device to make sure that we use 50 grams, not more. Voila. Once you have the 50 grams of sugar, you put the sugar together with the egg yolks in one pot. You take another spoon, preferably a wooden spoon. A wooden spoon is always better than a normal spoon, and you start stirring the mixture slowly until it becomes a bit of the texture starts slowly to change. So you start mixing the egg yolk together with the sugar until you get this foam, which is a little bit thicker than the original egg yolk you'll have in. Once you're satisfied with the result, don't forget in the meantime to check from time to time on how your chocolate is doing. You don't want it to burn in the pan, although that's quite unlikely actually with the bain-marie. That's why we have this bain-marie, so we have the water on the pot. And then on top of it we do the chocolate, because this reduces the chances of the chocolate burning inside your pan. So you make sure to check on the chocolate, which is not yet completely melted, so it will take some more time. In the meantime, we will continue with the egg white. So for the egg white, we need a really firm, dense egg white. So how can we do this? We can do this either with a fork, in case you only have a fork, but it will take a lot of effort and it's quite troublesome. In case you have a real mixer, it's a lot easier with this kind of device. So let's continue with this device. So the chocolate is still mixing slowly. It's melting in the pot. As you can see, it's already melted halfway. Let's see. I think it will take another 5 minutes before it's ready. In the meantime, we continue with the egg white. You make sure your pot is big enough. So maybe I'll change to a bigger pot for now. Okay, once you have the bigger pot, it's a lot easier basically. So you don't stop mixing until you have this very hard foam, which afterwards we will mix together with the chocolate. This can take a while, a couple of minutes I would say, before it's ready. But as you can see, the colors start changing already quite fast. So after a minute of 5, you get this beautiful white egg, full egg white, and it's ready. When do you know it is ready? Actually, you just turn the pot upside down, and if it doesn't fall out, this means that the egg white is ready to go. Let's go back in the meantime to our chocolate. How is our chocolate doing? It's almost melted. So we start preparing for mixing the chocolate with the egg white later on. So now, as you can see, the chocolate is completely melted. So we will stop boiling it. We will take it out from the heat source. Now the first step you want to do is to mix it together with the egg yolk, together with the sugar. Remember, we had this beautiful mixture of sugar and egg yolk. You will slowly mix it together with the rest of the chocolate. You mix it until it's completely homogeneous mixture. You cannot see any difference anymore. Let me add the rest of the egg yolk and the sugar. There we are. So we start slowly mixing both. Not too slowly though, because otherwise the chocolate can start becoming firm again. So you want to make sure that you finish mixing all the ingredients before the chocolate is becoming firm again. Once you have a beautiful mixture, you cannot see any difference anymore. You take the egg white, which is now very white and very firm, as you can see, and you start mixing it with the rest. To make sure that the pot is big enough, it's easier to put the chocolate inside the egg white and vice versa. So let's do it this way. Oops. So we have now put all the chocolate together with the white, with the egg white. We will slowly start stirring it into one unity. So you mix for a couple of minutes until the chocolate becomes melted again and until it's more liquid. As the egg white gets unified with the rest of the chocolate and the egg yolk. Great. So we have already put in the sugar, we have put in the chocolate, we have put in the eggs. So there's one more remaining step to go before we can put this in the fridge, and within an hour or two take it out of the fridge and start eating. So what do we need to do more? We can leave the chocolate that we have made stirred up together with the egg, we can leave it for a while. Now we have to take the cream. So you can take normal whipping cream, you can find it in all big supermarkets. You want to make sure that it's solidified as well. So again, you take a small pot, not too small, remember, you don't want it to blurp it out. So you take a medium-sized pot and you stir it again with this machine, which is way easier than doing it by hand. So the next step, we pour the whipping cream into a big pot. It's around 150 milliliters if you want. I'll do a little bit more just to make sure that I have enough for the decoration on top of it afterwards. But 150 milliliters is just fine. Mine is 250, just to make sure that I have enough. Okay, so let's now start stirring it. Once the whipping is done, you take out the pot, you pull it over, and as you remember, I took a little bit more than I had to, so the recipe says around 150 grams. I will not mix everything right now. I will do around half of the whipping cream I have. The rest I'll keep it for later in order to decorate the chocolate mousse. But half of it I mix it together with the chocolate so that it gets a little bit of a lighter taste. Otherwise it can be very heavy chocolate, but with the whipping cream it makes it a little bit easier, let's say, to digest, and yeah, a little bit more liquid also. Okay, I think the mixture is pretty much ready, as you can see. So you take different small pots. This recipe is for about 4 people. And you start dividing the chocolate, in the small pots. You don't want to fill them completely because you do want to leave space for some decoration on top. The decoration can be either cream or fruits or another type of chocolate mousse in case you want to mix it with some white chocolate mousse. That's also a very nice visual effect that it has 2 layers of chocolate mousse. So we want to fill it around half. As you can see, we have nicely divided the chocolate mousse on 4 different glasses. So now we will just add the decoration to make sure that it looks a bit, well, more official, let's say. Okay. Once we have added the decoration, we recommend to put it in the fridge for about 2 to 3 hours to make sure that it has a good density, that it has the right taste afterwards, and a little bit fresh is also better. After 2 hours, you're free to take it out, and bon appetit! Smaak!